Right now on Fox 40, a raging fire in Stockton destroys a business and leaves a firefighter hurt. What we know about the fire that took hours to contain and left thousands without power.
We're also talking about two massive fires in Stockton in less than 24 hours. We'll talk about the impact that's having on other businesses.
PG&E's push to raise rates just months after the Camp Fire. The governor now blasting the embattled utility company.
They're not going to get it because I don't believe they deserve it.
Children in cages, their parents facing some charges at this point. We'll talk about what else police found inside that home.
A historic site in Old Sac painted over illegally, what the city says the owners must do to fix it.
And we'll get started here with some breaking news for you at 5 o'clock. The woman who is accusing Sacramento head coach Luke Walton of sexual assault is breaking her silence. The former sports reporter out of L.A. held a press conference with her lawyers in Southern California. Thanks for joining us. For Fox 40 News at 5, I'm Eric Harriman.
And I'm Nikki Lorenzo. The woman says the incident happened in 2014 at a Southern California hotel. Sports director Jim Crandall joining us now in studio with more. Jim.
Yeah, Nikki, the incident that we're going to hear Kelly Tennant speak about happened in 2014 when Luke Walton was still with the Golden State Warriors. She says that she went to Walton's hotel in Santa Monica to give him a copy of a book that she had written and that he wrote the foreword to. She says they were friends. She considered him to be a mentor. So when Walton invited her to his room, she said she was a little apprehensive, but thought it would be just fine. And then she picks up the story from there.
Out of nowhere, he got on top of me and pinned me down to the bed and held my arms down with all of his weight while he kissed my neck and my face and my chest. And as I kept asking him to please stop and to get off, he laughed at me. I continued to ask him to stop over and over again without any use of my arms, because he continued to hold me down. I could feel him rubbing his erection on me. And he continued to laugh at all of my pleas to get off and to stop. I thought he was going to rape me.
Kelly Tennant, and she reiterated again today, as she did in the lawsuit which was filed yesterday, and we do have a copy of it. It says unfiled because it is a copy, that all of this happened at this hotel, Hotel Del Mar in Santa Monica, while Walton was with the Golden State Warriors in L.A. to play the Lakers on a road trip. She indicated today, as in the lawsuit, that at some point after the attack that she described, she was able to get free and get away from Luke Walton. Kelly Tennant today in Los Angeles speaking with reporters. Now, the Kings to this point have said nothing other than yesterday's statement indicating they are aware of the scenario and are looking into it. The NBA, the league, has also said basically the same thing. They're aware, they're looking into it along with the Kings. The Warriors have also issued a statement. Remember, Walton coaching for them when this allegedly happened. They say they didn't know anything about it then, but they're also doing their due diligence. So that's where things stand right now, with the big press conference in Los Angeles just wrapping up with Kelly Tennant and her attorneys. Eric and Nikki.
Jim, thank you. And we'll continue here with some more breaking news, this time out of Sacramento County. This is where public health officials have confirmed 2 measles cases. The Sacramento Public Health Department says that those people are 2 family members, and they recently traveled abroad as well. Officials say that there was minimal exposure to the public, and anyone who might have been exposed has already been notified. Stockton firefighters had a busy 24 hours after 2 massive fires sparked. You're looking at them here, one yesterday evening, the other happening early this morning at a lumber yard, destroying that business and leaving a firefighter hurt.
So the flames also took out electrical lines, forcing PG&E to shut off power, leaving thousands of people in the dark. It took about 60 firefighters from Stockton and other neighboring cities and counties to put out the early morning flames. They worked to save what they could, but in the end, one business was destroyed. So the Stockton fire chief says one firefighter hurt his back while battling the flames, but we know he is expected to be okay.
And for businesses that are nearby as well, they had to start their day in the dark because they had no power. Fox 40's Kay Racine live for us tonight in downtown Stockton with more. Kay.
We're here where the fire was. It is still a little hazy out here, and as you can see, PG&E crews are out here. They're working to assess the damage and also repair some of the damage so that the thousands of customers still without power can get their power back. This has been frustrating for some small business owners. People in search of coffee, cash, and food were out of luck Tuesday as an ongoing power outage affected 18,000 customers in Stockton.
There's nothing we can do right now. They told us just wait.
Among those in the dark is Fanny Tong, who tells us she had no choice but to turn away hungry customers.
And now the fire is going on, cut out business, and a lot of customers can buy, and they can open a restaurant.
This pallet yard blaze is what left thousands of families in the dark. A spokeswoman with PG&E tells FOX40 crews shut down power lines so that firefighters could safely work. The fire also damaged some electrical equipment. This blaze is the second Stockton firefighters have had to deal with within the past 24 hours, exhausting them. But they say they are rotating crews to prevent fatigue.
And your date of birth?
Schools within the Manteca and Stockton Unified School Districts were also impacted, although campuses remained open. You seem frustrated.
I am.
And hot.
Yes.
Parents at some sites were able to pick up students.
I tried, but there's honestly just no point in being here today because of the fact that I could get a lot more done at home with Wi-Fi instead of wasting time here.
Sour cream and chile on top.
But for roving restaurants that depend on generators to cook, it was business as usual.
It hasn't really affected because, out here we don't really, rely on the power.
PG&E says as of 4 p.m., 3,000 customers were still without power. Crews will be here throughout the night working to fix the damage. Live in Stockton, Kay Reseed, FOX40 News.
Hey, Kay, thank you. And that earlier fire you just heard about, which happened yesterday afternoon at a Stockton recycling center, we'll continue with that. Fire officials say that powerful winds helped drive that 3-alarm fire, which also, they say, depleted much of the city's resources to fight it. This morning, the Port of Stockton said that it was on fire watch at that recycling facility. PG&E is asking state regulators to allow them to raise rates, which isn't a surprise to a lot of people. That request is coming after the company filed for bankruptcy a couple of months ago and admitted that its equipment probably started last year's Camp Fire that left 85 people dead. PG&E says it wants the typical California household to pay a little more than $22 extra for their service every month. Well, today, Governor Newsom blasting the utility company for trying to raise those rates.
And I don't think it was the right time to ask for it, and I think it was too much to ask for. To increase returns on Wall Street investment at a time when you haven't even settled the victims' claims is not only tone deaf, it's jaw-droppingly wrong.
So again, there have been rumors for a long time that this was going to happen. PG&E says that it needs the money to fund initiatives that would protect against more fires. The utility adds that there are at least $7 billion worth of claims against that company at this point.
New at 5, an old Sacramento club is now in some hot water after it painted over a historic ad on the side of its building. So this happened in the old Eureka Bathhouse building on 2nd Street near I Street. And after public outcry, the city of Sacramento is demanding the ad be brought back. Fox 40's Doug Johnson joining us now live in Old Sacramento with why that might be easier said than done. Doug.
And Nikki, the building we're talking about, it's like a lot of buildings down here. It's original 19th century brick, and we're told the restoration of that ad might damage that brick. Now, a lot of people here in Old Sacramento are questioning why this nightclub would paint over a piece of history.
Sacramento!
A sign which has been in Old Sacramento for almost a century. It's now gone.
They basically defaced the building.
Marcia Iman is the city of Sacramento's historian. She says the Boss of the Road overall sign has been on the side of the old Eureka Bathhouse since the early 1920s. She believes it was strategically painted there, targeting a group which needed strong work clothes.
The rail yards are just across the way, and workers would have seen those signs.
Sometime last week, the ad was painted over by the owners of the building who wanted the name of their nightclub, Ambiance, painted there instead.
Nothing was ever submitted. Nobody knew anything about it, that they were going to paint that in any way.
But city code enforcement stopped them before they could finish painting their sign. Unfortunately, though, the overall sign was covered.
Trying to have everything nice and original things, you know.
Now other store owners with shops nearby are furious.
Most of my customers, they come back, you know, they like it.
Luis Perez runs El Maya Indian Tribe, and he can't understand why they would paint over that sign.
What kind of business is this, you know?
I'm sad to see it's gone because, I'm a history buff. Hi, welcome to Danny's Mini Donuts. 4 cinnamon sugar?
While Danny Johnson wishes the ad was left alone, he says he understands why the ambulance owners didn't think it would be a problem.
They own the building, they can do what they want, they just didn't follow the proper procedures probably.
However, because Old Sacramento is a historic district, the city must approve the removal of historic ads.
They wouldn't have been given permission to do that.
Sacramento Code Enforcement says the owners agreed to restore the ad, and they'll have to hire a restoration artist to do so. But Iman warns that could damage the building, and it won't be as authentic as the original.
It's a layer of the past that we come upon every once in a while. Even though it's not the period of significance for the district, it's still an important piece in the history of Sacramento.
And back out here live, we have made several attempts to try and speak with the owners of the building, try and get their side of this story, but so far we have not heard back a response. Reporting live in Old Sacramento tonight, Doug Johnson, Fox 40 News.
Doug, thank you. 2 people have been arrested on child endangerment charges after investigators say they locked 2 small children in cages inside their home. Deputies say the suspects are 25-year-old Ramon Zendejas and his girlfriend, 25-year-old Mercedes Williams. The Modoc County Sheriff's Office posted these photos on social media showing the children locked in 2 modified cribs stacked on top of each other and secured to the wall like dog crates. Child Protective Services have now taken custody of both kids. El Dorado County Sheriff's deputies arrested a man they say posed as an ICE agent and robbed construction workers at a construction site in El Dorado Hills. Deputies say this man right here, Patrick Mullaney, handcuffed some of those workers, threatened to deport them, even took money from them to pay for what he called court fees. Deputies arrested him on charges of robbery, false imprisonment, and impersonating an officer.
The trial for the white supremacist accused of assault in the 2016 fight that happened at the state capitol has ended in a mistrial. According to the Sacramento Superior Court, the jury unable to reach a verdict in that case. They say that the district attorney intends to retry the case against William Scott Planner. Planner was on trial for hitting a protester with a pole during a fight that broke out again at the Capitol. It injured 10 other people as well. The court says that the matter has been sent over to the main jail for further proceedings this week, Friday. Lawmakers behind 2 rival bills concerning the standards on the use of deadly force announcing a compromise officially today. Senate Bill 230 will no longer include the reasonable standard provision, which allowed officers to use deadly force when they perceived a potential deadly threat to them. SB 230 will be combined with AB 392. So what does it mean? That bill raises the deadly force standard from reasonable to necessary. Lawmakers voted to approve that bill today, saying that it will give both law enforcement agencies and civil rights groups a seat at the table.
We might come to a place where we both have a revised use of force standard and good associated training so that California could move forward.
And Senate Bill 230 will still include its provisions on requiring law enforcement agencies to reform their guidelines and training on the use of deadly force.
New details about the deadly attacks in Sri Lanka on Easter Sunday tonight. Authorities say the calculated bombings were in retaliation for another terrorist attack.
Also, just ahead for you, a clean slate, what Sacramento County DA Anne-Marie Schubert is planning to do with thousands of marijuana convictions.
And it's disturbing video that shows a woman throwing away puppies in a dumpster tonight. What authorities found inside this woman's home that will shock you.